It started with an empty feeling that lasted for months. Months turned into years. At 32 years old, my life seemed paralyzed as I wondered where all the time had gone and why I still felt so lost. I'm going to be honest about something important. But first, let me ask you, what's at stake if you ignore that restless feeling? You know the one, the ache that creeps in during the quiet moments. It's there when you're lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, or scrolling endlessly on your phone. It's there when you're stuck in traffic, watching the minutes slip away, and all you can think is this all life has to offer? You might be thinking, I've missed my chance, I've waited too long, and now it's too late. That's what I thought too. I told myself I'd already made my choices, that I couldn't turn back. But here's the truth. Ignoring that pull doesn't make it go away. It only grows louder, demanding your attention until one day you wake up and realize the life you're living isn't the one you're meant for. And by then, the clock might feel like it's already run out. I'm about to share the lessons I learned from ignoring that feeling. Lessons that nearly cost me everything. 20 years ago, I was chasing the dream. You know the one. Get the job, get the house, get the family. I thought if I just hit all the milestones, that restless, empty feeling would finally go away. I told myself I'm not getting any younger, so I pushed harder. I thought if I just keep moving, keep achieving, I'll finally get there, a place where I could feel fulfilled with my life. But you know what? It didn't work. That restless feeling, it only got worse. Because the truth is, you can't outrun who you are. You can't plaster over the cracks with achievements and expect them to disappear. They're still there, just beneath the surface. And here's what no one tells you. When you're chasing the illusion of what you think will make you happy, you lose sight of everything else. Your time, your energy, your purpose. It slips through your fingers like sand, and you're left asking yourself, is this all there is? We've all been taught the same story, that happiness and purpose are just one more milestone away. The next raise, the dream vacation, a bigger home, a faster car. We tell ourselves, once I get that, everything will fall into place. I'll finally feel worthy and deserving. But have you noticed? It never works. Think about it. How many times have you achieved something you thought would bring lasting happiness? How long did it last? An hour? A day? And then what? You're back to feeling restless, like something's still missing. That's because you're not actually chasing the thing. You're chasing the feeling you think it will give you. That feeling doesn't come from the thing itself. No raise, no vacation, no car or house can fill that void inside you. Because what you're really searching for isn't out there. It's not in any object or achievement. It's meaning, a sense of purpose. And purpose can't be bought. It can't be achieved. It can only be discovered. Most of us spend our lives chasing what we think will make us feel whole. Money, relationships, success, adventure, because that's what we see around us. It's what society tells us to value. But here's the truth. The things you're chasing don't have inherent value. Take a $200,000 car. For some, it's a dream. For others, it's meaningless. If value was inherent, we would all want the same things equally. But we don't, because value doesn't exist in the object. It exists in your perception of it. The real question isn't, what am I chasing? The real question is, why am I chasing it? What am I hoping to fulfill? And here's the part no one likes to talk about. Once you realize the feeling you're chasing can't be found outside of you, it forces you to look inward, to ask the hard questions, to confront the gap between the life you've been living and the life you're meant to live. And that's scary, isn't it? Most people think they want to change their lives until they realize how uncomfortable it can be. I know what you're thinking, but I've tried to change. I've tried to figure it out. That's where I was also. Exhausted, doubting if change was even possible. But here's the thing. You don't need to figure it all out at once. You just need to take the first step. What I'm about to share is one of the most important lessons you will ever learn in your life, but you have to listen to really get it. So take a second and really focus with me. It's not too late. The problem isn't that you've missed your chance. The problem is that no one ever taught you how to uncover what truly matters to you at the deepest level of your being. So of course, there is going to be internal struggle. That's what I discovered when I started studying NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I learned that your unconscious mind holds deep something powerful within it, your core values. And here's the thing, your core values aren't surface level preferences or ideas. They are deeply embedded beliefs that give your entire life its meaning. Aristotle once said, "To know yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." Here's one of humanity's biggest hidden problems. Most people go through their life without ever realizing what their core values are. They're like a silent operating system running in the background, deeply unconscious. And until you bring those values into the light, until you make them conscious, you can't use them to create a life that aligns with your true purpose. Instead, you'll keep making choices based on other people's values, the values of your parents, your friends, even society, the values sold to you as a good life. But once you align with your true values, everything changes. Finding purpose becomes effortless. You see this in history. The people who shaped the world weren't chasing someone else's dream. They were aligned with their values, and that alignment made them unstoppable. But there's a flip side. If you don't know your values, or if you're living out of alignment with them, that restless feeling, it never goes away. Because deep down, your unconscious knows you're not on the path you're meant to be on. If you don't know your values, you don't truly know yourself. And the pain of not knowing yourself, that doesn't fade. It stays with you until you do something about it. It's no wonder so many people hit what they call a midlife crisis. But it's not a crisis if you know yourself. It's an awakening. It's your unconscious mind calling out saying, it's time. Time to uncover what you truly value. Time to start living a life that's yours. Because if you don't do it now, you won't do it ever. If you keep ignoring it, the light grows dimmer, and you eventually lose that connection to your purpose. That's when you try to cover up the pain with a new sports car or by having an affair with a woman much younger than your wife. But Damon, what about that restless feeling, you might wonder? It doesn't have to stay forever. Once you uncover what your values are and you align your life to them, it fades. And in its place, you feel grounded, like your life finally makes sense. This is what it means to live a life on purpose, to live a life that's truly yours. And once you feel that, nothing will ever be the same again. I know what it feels like to stare at the clock and wonder, have I wasted too much time? To feel like your best years are behind you. You're right to feel that the clock is ticking. Time doesn't wait for anyone. We all have a set amount of time to live this life. As the minutes pass, you can't get them back. Time is your most precious resource. How do you want to invest it? I realized when I was 38 that the average life expectancy of a U.S. man is about 75 years, or 3,900 weeks. At 38, I'd spent nearly 2,000 weeks of my life off purpose, an insight that made it all too clear how limited my time is. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." That quote stayed with me. It was a wake-up call. I decided right then, no more living out of alignment, no more drifting. From that moment on, I've been committed to discovering my values and living them actively, intentionally, every single day. Since then, I've built this YouTube channel and a company where we coach and train people to find fulfillment through uncovering their core values and reaching their highest potential. I've also been intentionally living a new life with my kids and my wife. So here's the good news. You don't have to spend another second chasing something external to validate your worth. You don't have to become someone else. You already have everything you need this very moment. You can connect with your purpose immediately wherever you are right now, if you know how to find it. This is my story. Now it's your turn. How much longer will you wait before becoming what you value? When will you be able to tell your story of transformation? If you want to discover your purpose, don't wait another second to become the person you've always known you could be. I've created an NLP masterclass for you. Click this next video to get started.